Hello everyone, my name is George Bina and I will be your host today. It is my pleasure to welcome you to our first oXygen webinar. I invited my colleague Alex Gitianu to present the reviewing support in oXygen. Alex works mainly on authoring support for oXygen, and he was directly involved in the development of the reviewing functionality. The webinar is structured in 4 parts: this introduction, then the reviewing support in oXygen presentation done by Alex, a question and answer section, and some information about upcoming events, webinars, and conferences where you can meet us. If in your GoToWebinar interface, there is a questions section where you can type questions during the presentation. You should check if you have either this type of interface, or if you have this questions chat window, then you should make sure you select send question to staff so that the question is received by all of us, because I have here with me also some of my colleagues that will answer questions during the presentation. You can also use Twitter to ask questions and mark them with the oXygen XML hashtag so we can easily spot them. Now, before we begin, we have a couple of questions for you so we can get an idea of the user profile of our audience. One is what XML vocabulary do you use? And we put here a number of options: DITA, DocBook, TI, and other. And maybe if you select other, maybe you can specify in the question section what are those other frameworks or XML vocabularies that you use. Okay, we'll wait 10 more seconds. And I will close this now. And we can see that the majority of our audience today uses DITA. Then we have DocBook and some people using TI, and we'll look also to see what are the other frameworks used. The other question is if you are already an oXygen user. That is an easy question. Okay, so I see that the majority of you already voted, so I will close this. Let's see the results. So 70% are already oXygen users and 25% are not oXygen users. So we look forward to have you as our users soon. So thank you for providing this feedback. And we'll move forward by giving control to my colleague Alex to start his presentation about let me find Alex here. Okay, here you go, Alex.
Hello everybody, thank you George for the introduction. So my name is Alex and together we're going to take a look at the reviewing support for XML available in oXygen. To summarize the following presentation, first we're going to take a look and see what the reviewing support consists in. Then we'll focus on the tracing and management support for reviewing. And finally, we'll take a look into the future and we're going to see what version 15, which is the next version of oXygen, has prepared for you with regarding reviewing support, of course. So, the reviewing support consists in highlights, change tracking, both of inserted content and deleted content, actually not only content but also structure changes and comments. To demonstrate all of them, I have prepared a data topic that describes how to set up an email address, which is quite fortunate since most of you are data users, but you should note that everything that you're about to see is available for any custom XML vocabulary out of the box. So first, the highlights. The highlights are a new feature introduced in oXygen version 14.2 and are intended as a mean of personal review. You mark certain sections of your document just like you would use a marker on a piece of paper to highlight sections that are important or sections that require revising. To add a highlight in oXygen, you'll have to go on the toolbar on this highlight action and click it. And what happens now is that you'll be switched into a highlighting adding mode, and the cursor has changed into this little marker. And to add a highlight, you just make a selection using the mouse, like so. You can use color codes to differentiate between different types of highlights, and to do that you have to go on the toolbar again, but this time present this little pop-up over here and just choose a different color. And as you can see, the cursor changed to reflect that color, and you can just make a different highlight. To exit this highlighting adding mode, all you have to do is press the escape key on the keyboard and you're out of this mode. Now all you have to do is save the document like so to store these highlights, and you're done. Now let's assume I'm an author and I have prepared this version of the document and I'm about to send it to the review team. Before doing that, I'll have to go on the toolbar and activate track changes support by clicking on this action. And what happens now is that every time someone will open this document in author mode, the track changing support will be activated and all changes performed to the document will be automatically recorded. So now all I have to do is save the document again to store this setting, and I can just send the document to the reviewing team. Now let's assume I'm an author and I read this document, and as I reach step 3 I decide that it should be split in 2. So let me just do that. So I'm gonna delete this text over here, and this is a deletion change, and I'm gonna insert a new step saying enter your outgoing server, then press Next. And this one is an insertion change. And while I have only deleted text in my previous change, now I have also inserted structure and a new step, and this is also visible in the outline view. If you direct your attention to the outline view, you'll notice that this list item element is being underlined to suggest that it was inserted with change tracking enable. Now I'm going to add a comment to justify these changes that I've just made, and I'll just select these two steps, and I'll go on the toolbar on this add comment action, and I'll just say these are two distinct steps. And now I have inserted a comment. The visual indication that a comment was inserted is, first of all, this highlight that is presented in the editing area, and also a callout has appeared in the right side of the document and is presenting me this message, but more on the callouts a bit later. Now another thing you can do is you can associate a comment directly with with a change track, and to do that you have to place the caret inside such a change, for example my inserted change, and you have to go on the toolbar, this time on the comment change action, and click it, and let's insert a comment here saying please feel free to change the text. Okay, and now I have a comment associated directly with this change, and also another callout has appeared in the right side and is presenting me this this comment. Now I'll keep reading the document, and I notice a potentially missing step. I'm not quite sure that this step should be present, so instead of just inserting the step, I'll choose to add another comment. So I'm going to select this text over here and add a new comment saying shouldn't the user test the connection first. Okay, and now I believe I'm done with reviewing the document, so I'll just save the changes I just made, and now another subject matter expert can take a look at the document and make some changes. And to simulate that, I'll go into Options, Preferences, and on the Review Preference page I'm just going to change my name into Tom. You should also notice a lot of review related options that are available right here in this page. I'm not going to go into details, but please feel free to explore them and see if they can help you. So I'll just store this new identity, and now as Tom, I'm also reviewing the document, and I have a suggestion about the missing step, so I'll add the comment. So again I select this text over here, and on the toolbar again I click on the add comment and I say yes, something like press test connection, and I click OK, and now Tom's comment was inserted, and you can see in the right side a new callout for Tom's comment, and as you can see it uses a color code to differentiate from the other author. And now Tom has finished reviewing the document, so He also saves it. I'll do that. And the document can go back to the author, who has to aggregate all these changes into the final version of the document. Now, before I do that, I also would like I would like you to direct your attention to the toolbar again, because there are a couple of actions I want to show you. So first, the view final action. I'll click it, and what it does, it actually presents to you how the document would look like if all changes were accepted. And the other one, the view original, it gives you the original version of the document without any changes. So I'll just switch back to the view all changes and comments. Another thing you might be interested in is how all these changes are affecting the XML document from underneath. So will you still be able to edit this document in a text mode if you're a power user or you have a certain need? And to show you that, I'll just switch into text mode. And as you can see, the XML structure is very much unchanged. oXygen has only inserted these processing instructions for the reviewing information, and as you know, the processing instructions are permitted by any schema, so that won't affect the validation or anything. So I also wanted to point that out. Okay, so now I'll switch back into the author mode, and once again I'm the author, and I'm gonna aggregate all these changes into the document. First, let's focus on the change tracking. To accept or reject such a change, you just have to place the caret inside the change and to go on the toolbar, and here you have the accept change or the reject change action. So just click it and you have accepted the change. You can also make a selection, and this time you'll accept all changes that are contained in that selection, like so. I'm just gonna undo it because something else I want to show you. The same goes for the comments. If you place the caret inside a comment, then you go on the toolbar and you just click remove comment, and the comment was removed. Of course, you also can make a selection and remove all comments that are located in that interval. But we'll do things differently, and what we're going to do is we're going to use the callouts to aggregate all these changes. So this brings me to the next section, the callouts. First, a short introduction. The callouts were introduced to help the user tracing and managing the review changes inside the document, and by default oXygen will present a callout for all changes that have a comment associated with them. But what you can do is you can go into preferences, and the faster way to do that would be using the contextual menu and select the callouts options and choose to see a callout for every change. You can also choose to see the review time. That's also helpful. So just click OK, and now you have a callout for every change. For example, this is the deleted change which had no direct comment associated with it. Okay, the callouts and the main editor area are synchronized. If you select a callout, is going to point to that section in the document where that change is located. The reverse is also true. If you place the caret somewhere in the document, those callouts that are located in that context will be highlighted, like so. You've also noticed the color code that is used to differentiate between changes made by different authors. Another interesting use case for the callouts, if you are forced to work offline, you can print a version of the document with callouts, as you can see here, and you can just take this and work offline. So that was how callouts help you with tracing the changes. Now for management, you have this contextual menu available on each callout, and you can the same actions that I've shown you on the toolbar are available here, so you can accept or reject these changes. Okay, so now let's use the callouts and aggregate all these changes into the document. First, there's the splitting of step 3 into 2 separate steps. We think it's a good idea, so we're just gonna accept the deleted text. We'll accept the insertion of a new step, and now we can just remove the comments, since we've already done what it suggested, so just remove it. Next, we received a suggestion about a missing step, but before inserting this new step, we'll have to go on the toolbar again, and this time disable the track changes support, since all the changes that we are about to make are not to be recorded. So now I can just go back into the document and I'll insert a new list item, a new step, and for the text I'm gonna take Tom's suggestion, and to do that I'll use the contextual menu on the callout again and choose edit comment, and I'll just select and copy Tom's suggestion and paste it inside the document. And now I'll just remove the comments, so this one and this one. And now all that remain are the highlights. After I make some changes, I want to remove them, and to do that I'll have to go on the toolbar again, and from the pop-up I'll choose the no color or erase option. And now again I'm switched into a erase highlights mode, and I'll just make a selection, and all highlights that are contained in that selection will be removed. So that one and this one. Again, to exit this highlighting removal mode, I'll press escape on the keyboard, and here it is, the final version of the document. I also want to add that the callouts are highly extensible through the oXygen SDK API, which is a Java-based API, and you can add your own custom highlights. You can present callouts for those highlights. You can even customize the text that is presented by a callout. To give you a possible use case, you can, if you want, of course, you can present a callout for every error message that oXygen presents after validation, so to be more visible. I think that would be cool. Okay, so now that we've seen what the callouts are and how to use them, it's time to move forward to the review panel. I'll switch back to oXygen. In order to present the review panel, I have prepared another version of my topic with similar changes. And first of all, I'm gonna disable the callouts. It's not that I don't like them, but I won't need them right now. So I'll just click OK. And now we can focus on the review panel. So the review panel is also a new feature in the oXygen version 14.2. By default, the review panel is not presented. If you want to see it, you'll have to go into the window menu on the show view, and from here select the review action, or even better, you can just click on this manage reviews action on the toolbar, like so, and the review panel has appeared in the right side, on the right side of oXygen. So again, let's present it first before using it. The review panel was intended to help users work with documents that have been edited substantially, so they contain a great number of review changes. And what it does, it presents all these changes from the document in the order that they appear in the document, and you can differentiate between each type of change through this little icon over here. So this one represents a highlight, this one it's a comment, this one it's a deleted tracked change, and this one it's an insertion tracked change. You are also presented with a lot of information about the change, like the author, Alex, the time when the change was performed. If you have a comment, that comment will be presented like so. If not, the affected text, which is the case here. The review panel and the main editor area are also synchronized. If I select an entry, it's gonna point to that area in the document where this change is located. The reverse is also true. If I place the caret somewhere in the document, the review panel is going to highlight those changes that are located in that context. The top view, the top of the view is reserved for search criteria. By default, there are 3 predefined search filters. You can choose to show the highlights, or the comment, or the track changes, but you also have a search text field in which you can enter any custom search criteria. Like, for example, if I want to see the changes performed by Alex, or if I want to see all changes that contain the word mail in them. So that was how the review panel helps you to track all these reviewing changes in your document. Now for managing them, the review for each change, you will be when hovering such a change, you will be prompted with the most commonly used actions, like, for example, accept or reject for a track change, remove for a comment, or remove for a highlight. But in the contextual menu, you will be prompted with a lot more actions. So you should take a look at the contextual menu too. The view also supports multiple selection, like so, and I can accept or reject multiple changes at once. Okay, so now it's time to use the review panel to aggregate all these changes inside the document, just like we did using the callouts. So first of all, the splitting of step 3. Again, we accept the removed text. We accept the insertion of a new step. And again, we just remove the comment since we've done what it suggested. So remove. Now we have the suggestion about a missing step. Again, we go into the document. We insert this new step. We're also going to take Tom's suggestion. So we'll go on the review panel on Tom's comment. And from the contextual menu, we choose Edit Comment. Let me just copy Tom's suggestion. Now I'm gonna paste it here. And now I'll just remove these two comments. I'll use the multiple selection support. I'll right-click it and remove all the comments. Now, again, I'm left with only the highlights. I'll make a change, and now I can just remove the highlights. I'll also use the multiple selection, so I select both highlights from the review panel, and from the contextual menu I'll choose remove highlights, like so. And again, here is the final version of the topic. As a conclusion, I would say that if your document contains a small number of changes, you might find it more helpful to work with callouts. But if, like I said, your document contains a greater number of changes, then probably the review panel is more recommended for tracing and managing them. Okay. So I believe now it's time to take that look into the future. So I'm just gonna close this version of oXygen, and I'll start the version 15, which is currently in the works. Okay, so you've seen how oXygen helps you to trace and manage reviewing changes from inside a document. But let me ask you this. What if you're having a very large project, like let's take for example oXygen's user guide, which has somewhere like 8,000 topics. How would an author find out which topics have reviewing changes so that it can open them and work on them? And this is exactly what was missing in version 14.2 and what we are currently addressing in version 15. So what I want to show you is this open find resource view. This is also a new feature available in oXygen version 14.2. So in case you didn't get the chance to see it at work, I'll just take this opportunity to present it a bit. So what this view does, it offers very advanced search capabilities inside the resources linked in your project, and all the data maps and all the data maps that are open inside the data maps manager. And first I'll have to reindex my my project, okay? And now I can just, you see here I have selected the in file path button, and if I type here snow, it's gonna present me all the files that contain this word in their file paths. I can search in content. I'll just click here, the in content option, and now all the searches will be performed right in the content of the resources. I can use prefixes. For example, I can say bloom. I can use Boolean operators. If I open this topic over here, I see that it found growth and blooming. Okay, I'll close that. I can also use XML-aware queries, like for example, if I want to search inside a title element for, let's say, the word installing, and if I open it, I see that I have installing in the title. You see here, it's the title. Okay, so what I've shown you so far, it's also available in the current released version of oXygen, which is version 14.2, but what will be available in oXygen version 15 is this new option over here, the in reviews options. So if I click it, let me just clear the filter. If I click it, I'll be presented with all the reviews from every resource that is linked, like I said, in the project view or in the data maps, or it's of course starting from the data maps that are opened in the data maps manager. So these are all my reviews. I can use filters, for example, to show only the reviews made by Mary. Now I'm only seeing Mary. I can choose which type of review to see. I can see only the comments made by Mary. I also have some time-related search criteria. And of course, all I have shown you, all the searches that I've shown you for the in content option, you can use them here also if you want something more complex. So let me just, I'll just click on this review made by Mary, which is a comment. So I've made a double click, and oXygen has opened this topic. It has located the comment and has also presented the review panel, and the comment is selected, as you can see. And now I can just start and aggregate these review changes, just like I've shown you using the callouts or the review panel. And for example, if I choose to remove this comment here by Mary, I remove it. And now I'll just save the document. And as you can see, the Open Find resource view was automatically updated. Again, if I make an undo and I reinsert the comment and I save, the Open Find resource view is presenting me with this comment. So this search capability was something that, like I said, was missing in the current version of oXygen, but luckily it will be available in version 15. Okay, so thank you for your attention, and if you have any more questions that you didn't already ask, please feel free to ask them. Thank you. George, you can take over.
Thank you, Alex. And we received quite a large number of questions during the webinar. And I will try to get through some of those questions. One question was how changes are overlapping, and the answer is that the changes do not overlap. They are split in multiple changes, but the comments are overlapping, and maybe Alex can show adding two overlapping comments, and you can see the underlying processing instructions that are generated. Basically, we will add an ID to the processing instruction, to one of the processing instructions, so that we can match the end of that comment with the same ID. While Alex will show you this, another question was, does the Eclipse version have the same functionality? Yes, the same functionality is available also in the Eclipse plugin.
Okay, so let's make two comments. So I'll just comment here on the password, and I'll say first comment, and this is my first comment. So, and then I'll just select a greater interval and add another comment. And this is the second comment. As you can see, the first one is embedded in the second comment. Also, I can make like this. I can add one comment, and I can make a selection like this, and add the second comment.
You should show the text.
And of course the text mode. And this one marks the first comment, this one marks the second. So it's a start PI and an end PI. And for the second one, this one is the start, and here is the end. And the second one is, it starts here and it ends here, so they're overlapping.
So basically we needed an ID only in the second case where we had this overlap, because in the first case we can actually match the start and the end processing instructions without the need of adding an additional ID to that processing instruction. Another question was, is there a limit to the comment text? And the answer is, there is no limit to the comment text, but there is a limit for displaying that comment text in the callouts. Is the change tracking state preserved in the document? And we have, so when you set change tracking to on, then we have an option to preserve that information inside the document as a processing instruction. You can see here the change tracking state can be stored in the document, always on or always off. You can choose from this to select your desired behavior. Another question was, is there a shortcut? Can be a shortcut set for toggling the change tracking state on or off? And the answer is that almost all the actions from oXygen can be configured with the shortcut. We have this menu shortcut keys entry where you can filter and find that action, then you can set a shortcut for your desired shortcut for that action. Another question was, if I use version 14.0, can I update to version 14.2? And the answer is yes. All minor releases are included in a major version. So if you have a license for version 14, you can use any 14.x releases. Another question was, once a change is accepted or rejected, is there any trace of that in the document? And the answer is no. We do not store any such information in the document, but our API should allow writing an extension to intercept that that event and recording that on an external source. If needed, if this functionality is needed, we can improve this API to make this easier. Actually, in version 14.2, there are quite a large number of changes on the API as a result of people developing on top of oXygen. Another question was, are changes, comments visible in the PDF output on a data transformation? And the answer is no, not by default, because that's why we store this as processing instructions, so that your normal processing workflows will work without any change. But I provided this an XSLT style sheet to transform these processing instructions to elements or whatever else you need, so you can then process this further to make them visible in the PDF output. And there are a number of people that already did that successfully. Okay, I don't have other questions. I'm sure there are more, but we will look over all the questions and reply to you after the webinar. So if there is something that was not answered during the webinar, we will follow up and respond to any of your questions. Let me make myself presenter. So we will move to the last section about upcoming events. We plan to host webinars every 3 weeks, and we already scheduled the following 2 webinars. The next one targets the XML development part of oXygen, showing the support for XML schema 1.1. This is not only a product presentation, but it is also a gentle introduction with simple examples to the new functionality added by XML schema version 1.1. The following webinar comes back to XML authoring, and we titled that XML authoring for everyone, and this explores the new interfaces that can be created for an XML vocabulary, combining the form-based controls and inline actions that allow non-technical users to edit XML without actually knowing anything about the underlying XML language. Here there are listed a number of conferences that we will attend. The first one will be the CMS Data North America in US, in Providence, Rhode Island. Then we will be at the User Assistance Europe, XML London, and Congility, all in June in UK. Thank you, Alex, for presenting, and thank you all for attending our webinar. I hope you found it useful, and we look forward to meet you again at one of our upcoming webinars or at one of those conferences.